Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Series Strategy Game and we're returning to Rule the Waves 2, where we are in war against France. So we are playing as the US. We of course have most of our forces on the west coast. The French do have their forces in their home territory, which is Northern Europe, and quite a large number of their troops in the Mediterranean. So we have, I would think, superior numbers. So we have 5 battleships in service. They are much bigger than the French battleships. They do have a lot of battle cruisers though. And in particular, the Lille class seem to be quite recent designs over here. And pretty big ones as well, with 9 16-inch guns and 11 belt armor. These are pretty big ships. And they do have a lot of those. So yeah, we'll need to keep an eye on that. They do not have any carriers, I think. Ooh, they do have a very large number of submarines. So we'll need to be aware of that. Our ships currently are mostly concentrated on the east coast, as you can see over here. There are a couple of carriers. We do have a couple of different ships. A lot of these ships are damaged though at the moment, because they are only right now being refit from or being mobilized. So I think we'll have to probably wait a little bit here to move a couple of these guys. Though on the other hand, the Barry class destroyers are short ranged anyway, so they're probably going to stay on the east coast. That being said, we should think about where we want to strike. So I'm thinking we could potentially go for the French Antilles down here. To get their territory over here, that should be within range of our invasion fleet. Unfortunately, the French Indo-Chinese territory is not in range, nor is any of Africa, so that would probably not work. We could send a couple of forces to Northern Europe to blockade them there, but I think down here would be the most tempting target. So what we're actually going to do is we are going to set this here, the Antilles, as an invasion target. It's going to cost a little bit of money. Ooh, 2 million, and we are pretty much out of money in 2 turns if we do this. And that's alright, we are building a couple of ships. Some of them should finish fairly soon, especially the Raleigh class light cruisers that are currently built up, so that should be okay. So I think what we want to do then is send a couple of our forces to the Caribbean. Let's send all 3 Californian class battleships and the Saratoga class cruisers, carriers, my bad, to the Caribbean, and then we are going to send a couple of light cruisers as well. The Raleigh is currently working up, so we shouldn't send that one. The Cleveland class I think would be good to send. These guys here have cramped accommodation, so that wouldn't really work. So I think what we have to... Ooh, you're on trade protection, really? Let's put all of you to active fleet, yes, and then we are gonna move all of these ships to the Caribbean. That's alright, that includes the light cruisers. These light cruisers here are currently... So this guy really needs to move as well. I think to the Caribbean is fine. I don't want him to be in Northern Europe all on his own, so that should be okay. Again, these guys here are damaged. So we do need a couple of destroyers, and I think all of our Flosser class destroyers are very good ships. They are the most recent ships that we've got in the Caribbean, so we are going to send them over there. In terms of air groups, we should be just briefly checking whether all of these categories have been built up as much as possible. Tsingtao hasn't been really built up. That's interesting. Well, we don't really need to build this up right at this second. It would only cost our supply, so that should be okay. You are currently damaged, so we are not going to send you. And I think we have 2 little forces on trade protection at this moment, so we do need at least 2 more ships on trade protection then. All of these guys are on trade protection already. Well, we could use the Montana carrier. We do have a single light carrier. Let's use the other one as well. Send you towards trade protection. It won't take long because we do have a couple of other guys as well. And we should potentially pick you there and go to trade protection. We still have enough tonnage on foreign stations, so that's going to be alright. We are rebuilding quite a couple of our corvettes, so I think we'll be alright. Just one word on the Montana. It has been pointed out to me that over here we have an aircraft carrier called after a state, and that's not really appropriate. Now the reason for that is This is an old battleship that we converted, and I actually had a look, and it seems like the US Navy did retain state class names for some ships. Specifically, in more recent time, they renamed a couple of submarines, ballistic submarines, to where they did not rename, they did refit them. As they're not ballistic class submarines anymore, but they're still called after a state, the Ohio class submarines, that is. So I think we can run with the state. The other reason for that is that the Saratoga and the Langley class here are called after the traditional battle cruiser naming scheme of the United States, and that is for well, battles in North America, battles that were important for the Americans. And to be honest, we could rename the Montana, but I would would want to call it after battles that happened in Montana. And Montana being in the very west of the United States, or nearly the very west of the United States, of course didn't see many battles of the Independence War. So the only battle that I can really identify that happened in Montana would have been the Battle of Little Bighorn, and that is an American loss, so I don't think it's very appropriate to rename it after that. By the way, I also renamed the Lexington, so the one battlecruiser that we are currently building, towards Constitution, so that we have a little bit more consistent naval naming scheme against the Saratoga class over here. Right, enough told, let's do Virgin Islands. We'll need to keep an eye on that. Guantanamo Bay. We are sending forces there though. Renton is, and a lot of ships are finishing their reconstruction. Thank you for letting me know via pop-up. Ooh, damn it, I didn't see that. New medium bomber is active. We have lost a little ship, and what have we got? Problems in the delivery. Yes. Germany laying down another battlecruiser. What was the intel that we received? Intel messages. No, messages is fine. Okay, so let's look at the research. We do have deck edge lift, 17-inch. Not too sure what we just discovered. Well, we'll have to see. Right, let's take a look at the map. Let's take a look at the strength of enemy forces. So we are much stronger in the Caribbean. They do have one battlecruiser in the North American East Coast. They do have a couple of forces down here in Southeast Asia. Probably need to send someone over there. We do have two light cruisers in the Central Pacific. So maybe we should send someone there. Yeah, well, they do have a heavy cruise over here. So they are very much likely to be dominating us, and we have very little forces in North America. Okay, so that being said, let's get over here. Let's take all of these Kingfisher classes. Let's send all of you to trade protection, and that's good. So that means we can pick all of these guys over here that are currently on trade protection. You. So all of these destroyers, light cruisers, these light carriers, all of you we're firstly going to put towards the active fleet, so that should still be alright. We still have more fleets on trade protection than we had before. We are still building up a couple of corvettes, so that's okay. We will be getting the Reliance class the Kingfisher class Reliance ship very soon. We're also going to get a couple of light cruisers, so all of that should be fine and dandy. So that does leave quite a couple of forces on the East Coast now. You guys are still working up, so I'm not going to send you out. You guys are still being repaired, so the same really applies over there. You guys are all on foreign station. Can I send you towards foreign station? The colon, and I think that's okay. And then we have got the Oakland class, you're going to be active fleet. You are already in the Caribbean, so that's fine and lovely. Then we have all of these guys here on the East Coast, especially the light carriers. Do we want to keep them over here? Yeah, I think we probably want to keep you over here. Well, we probably want to send someone over to what's the Far East Asian Theatre as well, though. You've got 24 aircraft. You know what? We could send the Montana over there. The Montana with a couple of ships in tow. Maybe 2 Oakland classes. Okay, let's send you towards the Caribbean first, and then we're gonna pick our fleet from there. And the two battleships on the west coast, oh sorry, on the east coast still do make sense to me. And that's basically all fine. Good. Alright, ooh, tonnage requirement is too low actually. So yeah, we do need to keep an eye on this. Okay, let's send you towards Foreign Station. Now it's okay. Next turn. More ships being commissioned. Nope, I don't want to do this. Nope. Enemy submarine has sunk another of our ships. That's a little bit annoying. Okay, and still no battles. They are overtaking us in victory points. But well, I mean, our forces are much stronger over here. They are amassing more forces over here. We could blockade them, or try to blockade them at the very least. We are making some money now. It's not too much actually, but still we are doing fine, I think. So we've got the Cleveland as well. A couple of ships are coming online, so that's nice to see. You should also be moved towards the Caribbean now. So I'm basically checking all of these guys against the status over here. Yeah, well, once we've got all of these Cleveland, or at least these two Cleveland classes, I think we can move them over. And that means we can take the Montana, and maybe the two Clevelands. I think that's decent. And maybe some destroyers. Would be good destroyers. Maybe some of the hull classes. Okay, let's take all of the hull classes. You are going to move towards the Caribbean, and then next turn we are going to take these ships and bring them over towards the Far East Asian theater. New French ship. Okay, 6 5-inch guns. That would be easy to destroy. Heavy AA effectiveness. And we've got a new flying boat. That's lovely to see. Basically the same, oh no, exactly identical range. Slightly better toughness. That's a very small improvement, but of course I'm going to take it. We've sunk 2 submarines, so that's nice as well. And we've got an enemy coastal raid. We've got 2 battleships. They have got 1 and 2 battle cruisers. So of course we're going to accept that. And we are going to ask them to attack enemy shipping. Right. So here we are. Only 2 light cruisers and a couple of destroyers. Still nice to see. You are the Reno class. So I think you are the latest class that we've got. Sorry, the Raleigh class. An R-class light cruiser. I think it would be very nice to see these guys. You also have an aircraft ready. And we've got a Cleveland class which is significantly slower and older. But I think it's going to be alright. Is it? No, it seems to be a decent-ish class. So slightly less modern. Okay. So we can go to speed 0 here. Just so that this guy can launch its aircraft. And we are going to have a look at the weather situation. So it's more or less early morning. Weather seems to be overcast, but it's not necessarily a big problem. So yeah, let's look at the situation over here. I think the left category can decrease a little bit. The right one can increase a little bit. And that's okay. There we go. Yes, I do want exactly that. So let's have Reno stop. We're gonna accelerate time over here. And I think you probably launched your aircraft already. Lots of shipping up here. Okay, so now we're gonna go to squadron max speed. Oh, actually 20 knots. You know what? Let's go 26 knots. And let's see whether we are gonna find any enemy. So you can see all of our aircrafts launching here, these red little dots, on a search pattern to potentially find an enemy ship. Don't think we have received any reports yet. We can actually go ahead and maybe ask these guys to scout. Can we do that? No, you could only patrol. So that's alright. Well, let's go a little bit faster here. Also with our ships. So all of these guys. Do you see any enemy over here? Is that why you're taking these weird routes? Don't think so. Wait a minute. Stop. Speed is down to normal, so that does mean that we are seeing some enemies somewhere. Vision range is actually decent, so I think you should see someone. I haven't gotten any reports yet. They must be somewhere. And I think they are close to this area. I think we should be seeing reports if they were over here within all of these corvettes. Look at these destroyers doing whatever they're doing there. Right, let's go to very fast. What we got down here? Some merchant ships. More merchant ships. I would expect them to be somewhere here. Oh! Here we are. We have got a report. It's a heavy cruiser, supposedly, on a southern course. So yeah, let's change the walls over there. Oh, and weather is suddenly gotten much worse with light rain. That's unfortunate because, of course, we are... Yeah, so they are scoring hits over here. Let's try to get there as fast as possible. So this is just the game speed, of course, but still. Hopefully the weather is going to clear up. Would be nice to have some air support, especially if they... Oh, there we are. Oh, only overcast now. Still important to try to check them out. Do we receive any reports? Look at that, 20 Republic Seagoats on a naval strike mission. Where are you going exactly? No, we need to go over here, I think. These guys might be... they might have sighted another strike force, but maybe... I spotted a submarine. That's a little bit meaningless. Submarines are not modeled in the game as independent units. Come on. Are we seeing enemy ships over here? Or are we not seeing enemy ships? Okay, so what's our vision range? Let's go minute by... Ooh, and it's getting night. That's extremely unfortunate. Would have been so nice to spot an enemy. Oh well. Let's go ultra fast. At night it's pretty much impossible to find anyone unless you are very, very lucky. But I don't think so. No, more or less no. Oh well. Would have been a very nice first battle. I would have really liked to see how these light cruisers do perform, but so far I don't think we are seeing anything over here. Is this morning? No, it can't be. No, no, no. It's just a little bit better weather. Wait, stop. Why are we down to normal speed? Is there any enemy nearby? No, they are firing at our corvettes though. Okay, they are over here still, so let's try to get over there. Maybe we're gonna find them. Maybe. They are not on the coast. Not yet. Maybe they are in between over here? Nope. Okay, so we lost 2 ships. They only had a single destroyer. Okay, very hard to find that actually. I don't quite see it this time anyway. Okay, very, very uneventful battle. They're getting some victory. They're getting an enormous amount of victory points actually. Still, it's okay. Right, so we still have enough forces on station, so that's okay. You again are going to go to trade protection. Get a little bit better forces over there. Everything here seems to be fine. We are also seeing the Reno is in the active fleet for now, so that's good to see. It's only fair crew quality, but that's okay. So yeah, let's take the Montana, and let's also take the... What was I saying? I think the Oakland classes. Probably not this one because it's in Northern Europe. The Oakland classes. And then the Hull class destroyers. And all of you guys are going to move towards Southeast Asia. If I can find it. Yeah, there we go. That should be alright. Overall enemy forces disposition. They are somewhat strong on the east coast itself. Two major ships. Maybe we have a little bit too many ships in the Caribbean. 3 carriers. We have the 2 light carriers over here, but I think what we can actually do is take the California classes, move them towards the east coast, and then take the Arizona classes, and you're going to move towards the Caribbean. And I think I'm going to feel a little bit better with this. More ships being commissioned. Montana has condenser trouble, which is not great. I don't think only the Navy can win this war. Some problem. Ooh, another flying boat. So, do we want to take the Martin Mars in the edition D, or do we want to go for the Curtis Corsair, which has slightly slower speed, better range, better firepower, less maneuverability, toughness, slightly heavier bomb load, and you are capable of carrying torpedoes? Yes, I think I want that. 3 merchant ship sunk down there, and a convoy attack, battle size large. Yes, they decline. So much the better for us. We do have some money now, and I think I would very much like and appreciate another Constitution class or Lexington class ship, and get another battle cruiser. But we'll probably have to wait a little bit until we're finishing a couple of these light cruisers at the very least. Or do we? 2 more turns? You know what? Let's build this. No, we're going to call it the Independence. There we go. Yeah. So two of these ships, I think that's going to be fine. We are going to be losing some money here, but it's not going to take ages, so that's going to be alright. Feelers for peace. No. Improved light AASA effectiveness. How are they sinking so many of our ships? The Manila, that's an a cruise action. We're getting some victory points. Small engagement around Polynesia. And they again are declining battle. Newfoundland. We should getting a lot of victory points over here. Yeah, but we did lose a light cruiser. That hurts us pretty badly, actually. Still, we are fine. So we've got a couple of our Raleigh classes now that have finished their working up. So all in all, 3 ships that are currently active. Do we need to send them somewhere? Well, we're fine over here. They have probably a lot of battle cruisers over here, don't they? 5. Yeah, that's a lot of capital ships. I think once we do get to invade the Antilles, we might be alright. We have too few ships on foreign station. So I think we probably have to send this guy to foreign station. Yeah, that does work at the very least. Probably want to design another light cruiser as well on as a colonial venture. Should potentially look at the Raleigh class itself. So if we open this design and if we would assign it to colonial service, it would have slightly too little weight. We could potentially drop the aft superimposed turret, leave the rest. It would be a decent ship to catch enemy cruisers. Would somewhat work, wouldn't it? Maybe go a little bit... Nope. Obviously not. So range, reliability. I don't think we need good reliability. Nor do we really need long range. We do need torpedoes. We do need all of this, I think. So, yeah. Well, not for now. Casualties, Raleigh. BC Illustrious. 9... Just look at this ship. It's fairly vulnerable though on the deck armor. That's a little... Ooh, and another dive bomber. We don't have dive bombers yet. Make him a national hero. Some problems. Improves torpedo reliability. That's nice. Oh, and we do have another version of the medium bomber. That's also good to see. Pretty much the same range. Better bomb load though. Significantly better bomb load. And Alabama is going to be in the docks for 3 months. We sunk a submarine though. That's nice to see at the very least. Convoy attack. Yes! And they do engage in battle. What have we got over here? We've got the Clinton and the Clearwater. So C-class light cruisers. And it's our jobs too. Oh yeah, we are attacking force over here. So yeah, let's see what we can do. It's going to be night, so it's not necessarily good for us because we do have some shipping. We cannot change. Stop. Can we actually? Yeah, we can go to speed max now. Let's see what we can do. Well, we're not seeing any shipping over here. It's a little bit bad that this is night. Let's go to very fast. You know what? Let's go to line, search line. Yeah, and you can see this guy spreading out. And was that the end of the battle? It was. France major victory. Unfortunate. Somewhat frustrating result, to be honest. Right. That being said, we are constructing these 2 ships. We are running a positive amount of money now. We are seeing that a couple of our ships are starting to be obsolete, and we have lost the Alabama in the Californian waters. Sorry, in the Caribbean waters. They don't have any ships over here. That's peculiar. Where are their ships? So we've got the carrier over here and a couple of light cruisers. So all in all, it seems like we have driven away most of their forces. Just look at this concentration of enemy forces in the Caribbean though. That means they have very little in Northern Europe. I think we could easily come and swoop into here. They're probably going to try to run towards this area. But if we get to Northern Europe, we can easily blockade them. So let's take our 3 battleships. Let's take our Raleigh class new light cruisers. What else have we got on the East Coast? 2 Cleveland classes. One of them is elite. That's very nice to see. Lots of destroyers. We can take the light carriers. I know what? I'm not going to take the light carriers. I'm going to do this slightly differently, but you have to wait a second for me. Right, and then everyone else here is fine. Yeah, the Barrow class we can't really move because they have cramped accommodation. Oh well, do we? Can't we? I mean, no, I think we should actually, because we do have bases in North America. Sorry, Northern Europe as well. So yeah, we're going to take all of these ships. We're going to move them towards Northern Europe. We're also going to take the carriers. We're going to move them as well, along with what? Who else is in the Caribbean? These Clearwater. So yeah, all of them are going to be in the same space. I think that would be a very good choice. Move ship towards Northern Europe. There we go. And then we're going to take these light carriers, and they're going to be moved towards the Caribbean instead. That's alright. Yeah, very much appreciated. Good. So I think this is a very good setup. I think we have some guys here ready. Just yeah, money is starting to come in half a year or so. Then we got the Richardson. Some of these guys are working up, so that should be nice. And yeah, that does mean that very soon we might be able to strangle them out in Northern Europe, taking the fight to them. And that I think is going to be very good. What else have we got here, by the way? 2 light cruisers, we are taking those. 16 destroyers. Probably we don't need that many destroyers in the Caribbean. Yeah, let's take at least 6 ships from the Caribbean, 6 destroyers from the Caribbean towards Northern Europe as well. And there we go. So, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.